One of the biggest myths versus facts of modern times is the existence of aliens. Is the existence of aliens a myth or a fact? You must have come across several videos, books, and people claiming to debunk this myth, while others will tell you how much of a reality it is. Who to believe? In times like these, we all look to official space agencies for explanations and perspective, but what if they have nothing to say? In fact, what if their actions suggest that they are avoiding this discussion at all costs? This has been the case with the National Aeronautics and Space Agency for a very long time now. NASA's actions have been very suspicious. There are times when it is questioned for something caught on ISS live feed, and it has nothing to say. And then there are times when the ISS feed completely shuts down for unknown periods of time as soon as the camera catches something weird. Something similar happened when the ISS recorded a 3,000-mile-wide UFO in space. The International Space Station is one of the most impressive projects man has managed to accomplish in space. Yet many people do not know, nor do they acknowledge the true magnitude of the project. The International Space Station was the first international space project in the history of mankind. It is a joint collaborative venture between 5 countries you would never expect a collaboration from: the National Aeronautics and Space Administration from the USA, the Roscosmos from Russia, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the European and Canadian space agencies came together to form the largest modular space station. The International Space Station is a research center on astronomy, astrobiology, meteorology, and physics, among other subjects. The station is large enough and low enough to be in plain view of the naked eye from Earth. To be exact, it has an altitude of only 400 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. It holds the position of being the largest artificial satellite of Earth. Its orbit is very small, one of only 93 minutes. This means that it moves across the same spot in the sky at least 15 times a day. It might be interesting for you to note that each and every part of the International Space Station was carefully assembled in space, with the first constituents being launched as early as 1998. Russia launched a crewed rocket containing its contributions 2 years later, in 2000. By 2002, the International Space Station was eventually made ready for use. The very first crew made it to the International Space Station on 2 November 2000. From then on, people have been living in and working on the International Space Station, much like the Avengers Quinjet. The construction of the ISS finally achieved completion 13 years after its launch, that is, in 2011. Yet another interesting fact is that the ISS was first named Freedom, but as countries converged in on the primary United States project, it was renamed the International Space Station. The International Space Station has a number of cameras mounted on it which provide Earth with a live feed from space 24/7. The cameras primarily capture the Earth, but some of the solar panels of the ISS are also sometimes visible in the live feed. The camera has allowed the public to view some of the most unique achievements of man in space. In 2020, for instance, the ISS live feed covered the launch of the Starlink satellites by SpaceX. In 2006, Brent Jet's journey to the International Space Station was also covered in the live feed. Jet was required to install a solar array into the International Space Station. However, surprisingly enough, the same cameras on the ISS have been the cause of many controversies. Numerous people watching the live feed have accused NASA of deliberately shutting it down because it had spotted a UFO or a similar strange object over the years. One clip also shows a weird, elongated shape near the curve of the Earth that is neither an asteroid nor a man-made spacecraft. It did, however, possess an eerie resemblance to a UFO. So far, NASA has denied all such absurdities and cleared its name altogether. But sometimes, NASA has been eerily quiet about the allegations and has failed to provide any explanation for what is caught on camera. For example, these pictures that were released by NASA in 2013. In 2013, NASA brought some pictures to the Brasilia Planetarium presentation. NASA themselves claimed that these pictures were taken by the International Space Station. The pictures reveal a large structure orbiting Earth. Its size was calculated to be around 3,000 miles in length. Surprisingly enough, the pictures were not all the hype when they were first revealed. They resurfaced like a celebrity scandal in 2020 and went viral all over the internet. As you may have guessed, the internet went wild with frenzy. Some pondered how such a huge UFO could never dare to enter the orbit of the Earth alone. There must be a whole fleet nearby. Others argued why a mothership would take this risk of being the first to enter the Earth's orbit. Was it spying on us? If yes, then why? Should we be worrying about an alien invasion, or should we be happy that we've possibly found what most of us had been enthusiastically looking for? Sadly, we do not know yet what to think or feel about this discovery. NASA has not acknowledged the resurfaced pictures in any way. Maybe we are just overreacting to pictures of one of many man-made spacecrafts orbiting Earth. But the amazing size suggests the opposite. Some skeptics have also pondered upon the object's possible connections with Oumuamua. Oumuamua was the first interstellar object to be officially detected as it passed through the solar system. Observed by Robert J. Warwick, Oumuamua was first mistaken to be just another asteroid, but many of its features were completely opposite to what would be observed in an asteroid or comet. For example, Oumuamua did not have a characteristic trail, did not have even a speck of dust on it, and most importantly, was cigar-shaped, with a length 10 times greater than its width. Oumuamua also did not disintegrate even when it spun across the Sun, even though it was very close to it. The temperature of Oumuamua at this particular moment in time was more than 570 degrees Fahrenheit. Had Oumuamua been an asteroid, it would have combusted to dust. Studies into the path of Oumuamua's solar maneuvering reveal that it came from the direction of Vega, the brightest star in the constellation Lyra. Its speed and motion indicate that it was more than 300,000 years old and has been wandering through space since then. The speed of Oumuamua as it went across the Sun was a breakneck 4,800 kilometers per hour. By the time it crossed the Sun alone, the Sun's gravity had caused it to reach a speed of 315,800 kilometers per hour. In his book Extraterrestrials, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth, Professor Avi Loeb refers to Oumuamua's anomalous behavior as a sign of extraterrestrial life. There was no official connection confirmed by NASA or other space agencies between Oumuamua and the UFO witnessed in the images released by NASA. But then, NASA didn't acknowledge the images in the first place. It really does seem that the public is overreacting, creating a mountain out of a molehill. What do you think?